Hello everybody and welcome back to the West Ham Network. You've just witnessed West Ham get beat at home to Crystal Palace, and I don't know really what to say, to be honest with you. I don't know how to... Where do I begin? How do we begin? How do we tell you, describe to you what we witness? I don't know. I don't know where to begin. I can't. I'm just lost for words again. I really am. Like, the matchday lives are getting worse in terms of providing you with interesting content, because it's depressing watching a West Ham fan, but you've got to be here through the good times and here through the bad times. We're always here through the bad times anyway, because we're West Ham fans and that's what happens. But I just can't compute the decision making that Potter is doing. I don't understand it. I don't know what goes through his mind that can categorically make him think that James Ward-Prowse can start and finish that game when we're all calling for him to not start the match. I'm not pointing the finger at one player, but that player gives us an example of the situation that West Ham find themselves in. We're all over the place. We are all over the place. Talking about on the field, we are all over the place as a club. It's terrible. It's really, really bad. And I'm just perplexed at this. I'm not pointing the finger at just one player. I'm pointing the finger at, when do you pull the trigger in terms of making a change? When do you pull the trigger in terms of thinking, I'm going to go for this game? Palace and West Ham didn't play well in the first half. It was actually a bog standard game in the first half, right? And they got an opportunity, took the opportunity and scored the goal because they were unmarked. So Mateta's goal in the first half, I'm classifying it as disgraceful because it's not Areola's fault. It's the defence. If you look at Mavropanos' and Qiellman's position, they're not marking anyone, and they're so oblivious to the situation. Qiellman, I honestly, genuinely believe Wolves got a very good deal in that situation. 40 million quid we paid for Qiellman, and I've never seen it. I've never seen the value bang for the buck. I've not seen what he can and has brought to this West Ham lineup. I think our central defence is a massive problem, because in that game, I couldn't necessarily fault Diouf. In that game, I couldn't necessarily fault Walker-Peters. In that game, I couldn't fault Fernandes. You could maybe question Paqueta's going forward ability. Could question Wilson, question Füllkrug. Bowen didn't do anything. Somerville was quite quiet, trying to get involved. A couple of his decision making wasn't great. But I do think the team is impacted because I'm going to go back to this midfield player in terms of James Ward-Prowse having that knock-on effect of having the slow legs in the middle of the park. And I think the crowd made it crystal clear that they were angry with the decision to bring Fernandes off, because he was getting stuff done, getting involved. And it's funny because, see, right, so you go onto famous websites that give you player ratings, live player scorings and all the stats and everything in there. And they tend to rate Ward-Prowse reasonably all right, up there in terms of his performance, but they do take into consideration the amount of times that he maybe recycles the ball and passes it and gets those kind of completed passes in play. But you're going to get quite a high amount of completed passes when you pass the ball sideways and backwards. I've always stated that it's never massively problematic when you get players that do play the ball backwards and sideways, if I'm being honest with you. I don't know. I've got so many comments. Just let me reply to this quickly. 2 seconds. Yeah, it's a really, really tough one. Tough time to be supporting West Ham right now. Let me jump into the comments. Is he getting sacked or not? I don't know. I don't trust this board in anything. I don't really necessarily trust Potter in his decision making either, because I don't see where the 𝗪𝗚𝗪𝗧 is in this team. I don't think he really knows what he wants to do. I'm kind of worried that he's listening to media outlets in terms of, you know, we don't want Hermansen to start, so he starts Areola, and it's like he's listening, but then he's not listening, and I'm like, what is going on? Why? Like, again, no vision, no identity, gaps all over the park. And do I think Crystal Palace had a good game today? No. Do I think West Ham had a good game today? No. But who walked away with the points? Again, Crystal Palace. And it's about getting the job done. It is about getting the job done. And we're so far from getting the job done, it's fucking ridiculous. It needs to be our defence is shocking. JWP, 𝗪𝗓𝗪, and 𝗪𝗚𝗪𝗧 need to be gone from the team. And I've got to say to you, I do think that 𝗪𝗓𝗪 is weak. I'm saying it now out loud. 𝗪𝗓𝗪 is weak. He's not West Ham centre back material. We got done. His man marking shocking. His strength is shocking. He looks really weak, and I think Mateta is going to walk away from today's game and go, do you know what? That was pretty goddamn easy. I didn't struggle. 𝗪𝗚𝗪𝗧's spatial awareness, I'm not there. I'm calling for Todibo to come back into this team, and I don't know who I want beside him. Actually, do you know what? I want 𝗪𝗚𝗚𝗏 beside him, because I've not seen him, and he's new, and he's fresh. I would be putting 𝗪𝗚𝗚𝗏 and Todibo in that bloody West Ham defence, because what we're witnessing right now is nothing but disgraceful, defensively. Is he deliberately doing this? I don't know. Is that the highlights? I blank the screen. Yes, I'm shocked. Is anyone shocked? We shouldn't be shocked because we're used to it. But I am shocked because it's just constantly bloody frustrating and annoying. There's nothing you can say going pathetic, a lack of heart, bye Potter. You think JWP actually had a good game? I don't see it. We're all entitled to our own opinion, Toby, aren't we? Potter's just been asked by Roy Keane what went wrong, and he told Sky the players wanted cheese sandwiches and got ham. I'm glad I never went now, and looking at it, I'm not the only one. Incompetence or sabotage, what other excuses there from those substitutions? Again, JWP being on game and after game is a Potter issue, not a JWP issue. Agree with you 100%. Glenn says, but we need him to get the sack tonight because I'm fed up having the same manager. Right, David Sullivan is a cheapskate. It will not be these and a decent manager. Why not have both strikers on together? Because the strikers are, in the nicest possible way, too injury prone, the wrong side of 30, and nothing's really coming their way. There's the creativity because we're struggling defensively. There's a lot to question in terms of the West Ham defence. Generally don't know how Potter hasn't given Marshall, Potts and Magassa a run out so far. It's not like they don't deserve it. Potter needs to go. He needs to in the next hour pull your socks up, Sullivan, do the right thing for a change. He won't. What about Todibo? What has happened to him? He was on the bench today, mate. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. On our bench, Rodriguez, who started the season for West Ham. Irving, who came on as a sub for the season for West Ham. Igor Julio, who we've brought in. Todibo, who started the season for West Ham. Now he's on the bench. Hermansen, who started the season for West Ham, is now on the bench. Honestly, we've gone into a full pre-season and Potter still doesn't know who his best 11 is. Potter still doesn't know who his best 20 players are. I genuinely think Potter's lost. I really do think Potter's lost. Potter's had enough time to build something from this team, and he's not. He has not built anything from this team. And I don't know where we're going forward, how we're going forward, what we're going to do to go forward, to be honest with you. They've probably got only 50 minutes between them because they are both old. Never been such a blinkered manager, totally ignoring the youth and slavish loyalty to Ward-Prowse is abysmal. And yeah, I do think the loyalty to Ward-Prowse is pretty odd, to be honest, because he's not performing well week in and week out, and we've always stated that players in any form of life, if you don't perform at work, then you don't get rewarded, and I don't get it, and I'm a bit blah, and you know, someone said the comment there was quite a lot of empty seats in that stadium today. There really was. People are fed up. People are becoming despondent. People are becoming so distant with what West Ham is and what's being created at this club. It's a mindset of negativity, and it's reaping out of us. And we are easily defeated on our home turf. There is no fortress whatsoever there. There's no fight. There's nothing, and I'm really struggling. I don't think Nuno in. I don't know what the right answer is. Well, I do know what the right answer is, and it starts from the top. But the board aren't going, so the situation is what manager will work with the board, and I don't know who's going to work with the board, because you need a manager to be able to manage them, and I don't think any manager can. And I don't know, like, it felt like last season we were always of the mindset that Souček was, like, we were always saying, why is he playing? And now this season we're going, why is JWP playing? We're in like the second season, this kind of circle of life with players who are getting week in and week out brought into the team, staying in the team and not performing. And I'm so disconnected from it. Even Tippy's a fan's a little we pay after all. Let's the energetic, driven up and coming pros play another bollocked weekend. Whoever's available and wants a job in, you know the drill. Because he won't take any risks, man. He doesn't do anything. Padding your stats out is easy. And I do believe that is true. I think padding your stats out is easy. And I'm into stats, right? I think they're valuable, and I think they make a lot of sense. But when it comes to JWP, again, when you look on all these websites, you'll go on it today and you'll get a reasonable one. I'll do it for you right now. I'll tell you what, SofaScore are rating JWP after his performance today. I'll tell you the kind of their ratings for all the players. I mean, they've given Areola 5.8. I don't think he was. They gave a Kilman 7.1. Kilman wasn't 7.1. Kilman was unmarked. Kilman was not marking his defence, was weak in challenges, but they've given him a 7.1. They've given Kyle Walker-Peters a 6.5. So it's easy to pad out the stats as you've just mentioned. Did JWP ever look like a positive pass? I don't know, man. JWP and Potter are lovers. JWP wasn't that bad today, but we need more from a midfielder. We do. He wasn't that bad. He wasn't awful, but the problem is he's not great either. And when he's crap, I don't actually think JWP has played crap for West Ham. It's just, and we need more than, we need pace. It's clear. And the substitutions, he's not helping himself. Potter is not helping himself with the substitutions, because taking Fernandes off is criminal. It really is. Todibo is not fit after a year, but that's not the reason he's not playing him. That's not the reason he's not playing him now, because Todibo is fit now. It's not the reason he's not playing him. There's no substance to his play. JWP has a decent game today. He's passed forwards a lot more and got himself about a whole pitch. Still should have come off before Fernandes, though. Megan says Potter will go, but board will be the same. Definition of madness is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different outcome. This will keep happening regardless of the manager. If Todibo is... if Todibo is that unfit, how is he £40 million? Right, let me bring DJ Russie B in live from the London Stadium. Russ, another defeat for West Ham at home. I can't hear you, mate. Can't hear you. Or it might be me. Will it be me? Hold on a second. It might be me. Hold on. Stay there. Do it again, Russ. No, hold on. Do it again, Russ. Yeah. Please don't say that's me. Can everyone hear Russ? Let me just see if it's Russ. Stay there. Everyone can't hear him. No, it's definitely not me. Can't hear you. Right, he's going to jump out and come back in. I just need to make sure my settings are all okay, which I believe they are. Yeah, they are. Can't hear Russ. No, they can't hear you, Russ. He's going to nip out. Okay. Remove him. There you go. And he'll come back in. Where do we go? How do we move forward? Is a change of manager the right thing? Is the change of manager? What's the change of manager going to do? It's probably the right thing under this ownership. It's probably a disaster. And I think it's just going to be the same old shit, different day, same old shit, different manager, different coach, no moving forward. I'm just going to quickly look at the league as well. Like, how do I get the league up here? I need to get the league in front of me. Because, I mean, Leeds walked away 3-1 against Wolves. Burnley drew 1-1 with Forest. Where's the standings? Let's see. Let's have a little cheeky look here. I can't even get it up in there. 2 seconds. Premier League table. This is the one I'm looking for. I mean, Leeds, 7 points. 2 wins in the season. West Ham, conceded 13 goals this season. That is the most in the Premier League by 1, and Wolves is a team below us. Then after that, it's Nottingham Forest with 9. We've got a -8 goal difference. -8 goal difference. What is the obsession with managers out of work? Sick of these sticky plastic managers. Nuno's been in talks with Brady and Sullivan, but we all know that he has. We all know that Brady and Sullivan do what they want, when they want, how they want. They don't care. They don't care. The problem starts from years ago, but it leads us to this situation now where we've lost at home again in a very crappy style, in a meh way. It's honestly, it's so boring. As a fan base, we all agree Potter must go. Nobody can hear Hammer space. We did have a good period in the second half, but did F all with it, and all the pressure then get popped, and that's the problem, mate. We can't ever get things done over the line. Can't see things out. But there was nothing for us to see out today because we were 1-0 down, 1-0, 2-1 down. We just can't get over that finish line. But I do think that is because we never pull that trigger first. We never push forwards. Don't know. I've seen enough. Potter isn't going to get a tune out of these boys. New manager with any sense will drop JWP. Nuno is not the right manager for West Ham. We have to go and buy a young manager out of his contract. I think if the board stand a chance of trying to make West Ham survive this season, I don't think Nuno. I don't know if Nuno's the answer. I don't know if he is the answer. Is Nuno the answer? Who's the answer? What's the answer? I don't know. Potter can get a tune out of the MP3 player. We keep employing defensive managers, and we have all players that can't defend. It's a recipe for disaster, time after time. You can say that again. Lampard is a yes man. It'll be him next. Would he want to come to us? Jeez, we employ whoever happens to be available when the lady get one gets found out. We are finished under this board. But Victor, we've been finished under this board for many a year. We've been and we as fan base, are starting to make our voices again loud and clear. But in terms of Graham Potter, he looks lost. He looks lost. Oh my God, man! He looks like he looks boring. It looks boring. It is boring. I'm watching West Ham and I'm bored. I'm fucking bored, man. I'm bored. We've not won at London Stadium since February 27th. Palace haven't lost since April, and that says everything, doesn't it? That says everything to you. Lot of negativity. I feel the same too, but I love the youth today. Love him. I do. I think he's a great player. I think he's got so much potential as well. But the problem we've got here, Megan, is West Ham find these absolute blinding players, and I can't for the life of me think, like, when those players were coming on that bus today, looking at the protests, looking at the club, looking at the seats, listening to the fan base, Fernandes coming off, getting everyone booing, you know, that decision for him coming off. It was ridiculous. Russ?
Hello.
I can hear you now.
Yeah, sorry, I just changed it to the other end. It's pissing down. I think Walter's got into the microphone.
Oh, no.
Fuck it.
Russ, 2-1 at home. We haven't won at home since February.
Is it, you know, we were led to believe if we lost today, hello Potter, or goodbye Potter, hello Nuno. I still think that's probably going to be the case later on today. You know, we've now got Everton away, and then, you know, we've got Arsenal away, and then we've got the international break, and then we've got some really winnable games, I think. Oh, that's winnable, you know what I mean?
Russ, what's a winnable game? What is winnable?
I know.
On paper, the old way of thinking, I get it.
So there's an opportunity there, particularly. Also, just thinking, conspiracy tinfoil hat on, the next game here is Brentford, which is the boycott game. If you have a new manager in charge, would that maybe change some people turning up? I don't know. Just being, you know.
Yeah, but I suppose what you're saying is you're building it up from a business point of view, and the owners of West Ham will be doing it from a business point of view. So, you know, they clearly know there's a boycott on, and they are the sort of board that probably would press that button on changing such a drastic decision to try and get fans on side, but not realising that it still won't get fans on side, but it's something that it might get some. But not everyone. Russ, big changing decision with the goalkeeper, Areola out. Areola in, Hermansen out. But I just want to come on to our two central defenders, Russ, right? 𝗪𝗓𝗏 and Mavropanos. And today really highlighted how much 𝗪𝗏's struggling.
Yeah.
He's not got it, mate. And he's not got it. He's not. I don't know what your thoughts are.
Well, I just think he just seems bereft of any confidence. You know what I mean? It's like, particularly in the first half, there's a couple of times where he got the ball, took it, and like, they pressured him, and he lost the ball in relatively simple situations. I just how unfit must 𝗪𝗏 be if he's got to do that? You know what I mean? It's like, and I swear halfway through that second half, we seemed to move back to a back three, because for me, you have to touch right in, and Somerville, before he went off, went to like a left wing back position. I just don't know. I just don't know what's happening at the moment. Just don't get it. And then the Magassa Fernandes sub just epitomised what was going down. You know, the whole crowd booed at that decision.
It was so clear, it was so clear that was the wrong decision, and literally, I was talking there just before you came in. You might not have heard it, but I was talking about when you look at things like SofaScore and you look at all these websites that create statistics, right? What you tend to find in those statistics is players like James Ward-Prowse and even 𝗪𝗏 come out quite highly in those because you can build up your stats from that. But what those stats don't give you is lack of commanding ability. So, for example, with 𝗪𝗏, like when you rewatch the game back and you see the highlights again, you will see 𝗪𝗏 is absolutely destroyed from Mateta on every single occasion. Yeah. Mateta literally has walked in with no confidence going into this game today, a breath of confidence coming off the field, scored a goal, unmarked, 6 yards out, and several times from several set pieces, several of Crystal Palace's players were unmarked. Now, that would have been a bigger score, Russ, if that was against a team that's got, after having HLTC Old Dan from there coming on the other day, he was saying that Palace actually aren't playing that great, but are still getting results and getting over the line. Yeah. But if you've got a team coming at you with a breath of confidence, Russ, we would have been smashed today. We would have been smashed.
How many times? I mean, they hit the crossbar, didn't they, from a corner? Again, within minutes of the second half happening again. Same thing. We seem to just don't wake up at all. And then how many times did they blaze it over the bar as well? And it's again similar to that Nottingham Forest game. They missed so many chances in that Forest game, and that scoreline flattered us. And it does seem today even more so. There was a period of time where I thought, we were controlling the game, and it was like, okay, yeah, it's not exciting, but I'd rather us have the ball than not then have the ball. But then I just don't understand some of the decisions. That's the issue for me. I always try and find understanding why this happened, but the 𝗪𝗪𝗬𝗪𝗧 sub just made no sense at all. James
It doesn't make sense.
Still be on the pitch. When you're pushing forward for an equaliser, Fernandes was, I thought, he must think, what the fuck have I got to do to stay for 90 minutes on the pitch? Do you know what I mean?
But this is where I fear for West Ham, especially when you've started a season. We've lost all bar one game. We're conceding goals left, right, and centre. You're on that team bus. You're seeing fans. Listen, the players know how the fans feel. Clearly, right? Potter knows. The owners know. Clearly, right? The owners don't care. But anyway, that's the situation. We won't talk about that right now. But Fernandes comes off that field as a new player for West Ham. He hears the fans booing because he knows himself he shouldn't be coming off the field. What's that?
Carl McCauley.
What?
That's Carl
McCauley. Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, is it right there? What's he scouting the fans? But what are they thinking? That's the point I'm trying to make, though. Like, a new player comes into this club and he's looking around and he's thinking, I shouldn't be coming off. The fans are booing, clearly telling you, why are you taking me off? You're coming in on the bus and you're seeing the protests against the board and you're thinking, what is this club all about? It must be quite surreal, despondent situation. Like, it can't. The whole thing is just not healthy. It's just not healthy. It's not healthy.
I mean, the 1,000 or so who were outside the gate today, they were, when the players turned up, they did clap them. But you got to be, that's when you need someone like a Mark Noble or someone like that, just to let people know what's going on from a player perspective, because it must be strange, intimidating, and they must have come onto the pitch thinking, fucking hell, we got 1,000 people outside protesting. It must be so as you said, so surreal. But,
yeah.
Oh, I don't know, mate. I don't know.
But it does feel like that because I'm seeing a lot of people now saying, like, I'm feeling a lot of disconnection to the West Ham situation right now. I've never felt so distant. When I said during the live stream as well, like, it's tough to stay. If you're being filmed and you're commentating like what we do here for watch-alongs, and I'm watching this game, I'm trying to entertain, right? And it's not, but I can't entertain the other way because it's just meh. It feels meh, and I don't know how else to explain it. And I'm sometimes sitting watching it, I'm like, must be really shit content because I'm not saying anything, but there's nothing happening. No, it's just sideways, backwards, and we're playing a ball forward. Crystal Palace are reading it. Like, see defensively for Crystal Palace. Yeah, it was really simple for them today. It was as if like Gueye and Lacroix were just saying to each other, just step forward. Anytime the ball's played forward, just step forward and you'll get in front of that player and you'll get that ball. All the time. But West Ham back off and allow them their forward players to get a hold of the ball, to play it wide, to play it forward, to play it backwards, whatever. We can't even get Wilson and Füllkrug on the ball.
Nah. Yeah. It just seemed to be like really. I just didn't understand some of the passages of play. I mean, there was right at the end of the first half. It was a really lovely move. I think it was Fernandes knocked it out and it crosses in. And for some reason, Wilson forgot how to. He had 3 or 4 chances where a confident Wilson would have buried them, or at least get a shot away. And it just seems we're picking at these moments rather than just a situation where we've got a lot. We can talk about this thing and this thing and this thing. But I could probably talk about half a dozen things maybe today that I thought were, noteworthy from a a playing perspective. But
Yeah.
I
Keep your
just
comments.
got no idea.
Keep your comments coming in if you are watching. Russ, where do we go from here? I mean, is a change of manager really going to change? I mean, change West Ham? I think I might be losing you, Russ.
Yeah, he's going to go. Possibly, he'll give us a bounce. I mean, I don't necessarily assume that. I don't know. I think he's throwing enough mud at the wall and see what sticks at the moment. It seems, to be fair. That's what I feel at the moment.
Yeah.
It's just really just, it's really, I'm literally going to lose all my signal now because I'm going in between those two buildings.
You are. Xavi used to play on a big ass pitch, so it might work working with this board though. Potter even confused the commentators with player positionings. Bring back Allardyce, twist in the summer. Look at the managers that are free agents from Happy Chappy. Potter has killed the game with his baffling changes. With a better manager, this squad has players to do well. Hopefully that's it for Potter. And told you he's off in the next few hours. Oh, Russ, you're bloody... What's that? Loudness. Russ, I'm going to chuck you out. Lost him. I've lost him. Beto hat-trick next week. I tell you what, man. You know, we're coming up against Everton, and it's highly concerning. We're coming up against a manager who gave us some of the best experiences of our lives, and he'll know he will go for the jugular because he's got to go for the jugular. He knows exactly how to put this pressure on, and that's the fear. Everton's a fearful game for me on their home turf, man. I don't know what we're going to do, how we're going to get ourselves out of this situation, but we are. Listen, what I'll do is I'll give you a chance to come on, right? I'm going to stay on for a few more minutes. If anyone comes on in the next few minutes, you can. I'm going to put the link in. There it is there. Link is in the chat now. If you want to come on and have your say, you're more than welcome to. There you go. That's it there. Click that link. You're more than welcome to come on and have your say. If no one comes on, I'll give you 5 minutes. Then I won't do it. From there. Simon, Russ's brother afternoon, just left the Dubai Hammers, can't see any realistic appointment, doing better to be honest. I fear these issues are running much deeper than the dugout. Years of poor strategy, this 100% mate, mega years of poor strategy, and I don't know how we get ourselves out of this. And I think a change in manager might just try and give West Ham the bounce, might stop the rot, but again, that's years of problems and years of mismanagement of this club, because all we do is find ourselves in this situation again where we have to get the bounce. We're looking for the bounce and there's no clear strategy. And when you listen and read that statement that the club released about we're now in the motions of creating a new strategy, wow, that alone in itself is awful. Bodger says we're rubbish. Did Jaron Bowen get a yellow card? He did, mate. He did. Look at the managers who are free agents: Xavi, Gnocchi, Edin Turek, Allegri. We were woeful. Is that's what Potter playing in his life? Then even he want Nuno to take over. Magassa looked awful when he came on. He looked confused and ponderous. He had 10 minutes. I don't know what else he's going to do. He had 10 minutes. You might hang on fire and Potter for a while. Amarin might be available. Might get the man after all. How ridiculous is this situation? At least Taylor Swift's wedding is something to look forward to, so things aren't all that bad. Start a grassroots team. That would leave Sully with nothing. Larry says Everton will absolutely destroy us next week. Arsenal won't even need to get out of first gear. Red Stretch says Moyes finished top 8 like other managers. Johnny Lyle 3rd, hiring at 5th, for example. Jurgen Klopp is still out there. And do you know what? Things like that can happen. Right, I'm going to bring... I'll wait till he's get himself sorted out, because he's going to come on for a right good old moan. Harry says, today I've mostly been watching West Ham lose, from Harry Monk. Absolutely. How badly the Irish goalkeeper covers. Magda looked like he had feet off lead. Absolutely. Guilherme looks absolutely garbage. Absolutely. Right, we are going to bring on Revelator Alf, who he likes a good old grumble, doesn't he? So I'll bring him on. Let's see what he has to say. Alfie boy, how you doing, my man? Oh, you can't hear me yet. Can you hear me now? Hello? Hello? No, I can't hear. No, I can hear you. Oh, I can hear you. Oh, no, I can't. I can't. No. I'll let you work on that. While you're doing that as well. Still can't get over Fernandes coming off. 100%. Completely agree with you. It was a shit show decision, really, to be honest with you. And the thing is, now we're into the weekend. I am sitting here, the Man United Chelsea game's come on, and I think to myself, might go and get a couple of beers, get myself a takeaway, in the hope that something drastic's going to change. And I don't know what I want that drasticness to be, but something needs to. At least if we get Nuno, JWP won't get a game. Right, shall I see? Do you want me to try it, Alf? Shall I try? I think he's saying give him a minute. Remember, everyone, if there's a link if you want to join the stream, you're more than welcome to come and join the stream, get your point of view across. I would put Keane and Potts in charge. What one? Freddie? Right, let's give Alf. Alf, can you hear me okay? Can you hear me? I can't hear you, no. I can't hear you, no. It says you're mute. It says you're muted. You need to unmute your mic. It says you've muted yourself. Oh, hold on. Do it again. I can hear you now.
Okay, brilliant. We got there.
On you go, Alf. You tell us.
Mate, I'll tell you what. Is it enough to say Potter's job? I suppose this is a key point. Is it enough? Definitely not. If you're looking at the first half, it was just, what we're watching. They weren't that much better either. But if you just think about their players in midfield, right? They could have had about 6 or 7 clear chances if they made the right pass, because they had players that were wide open and we weren't closing down. So then if you take that into the second half, it was like a different game. It started like a different game. And you thought, oh, okay, hold on a minute. This is something to keep the fans there, to keep them, in the game. And it just sort of faded away. As the game went on, it just sort of faded away. And you're kind of thinking, what the hell are we doing? So then he makes his substitutions. And then you're looking, I can understand Somerville because you might have got a knock there a little bit earlier on. But then you're taking off Fernandes as well. And you think, well, hold on, he was actually a bit of a bright spark. And again, you're questioning him starting James Ward-Prowse, because did he even get a touch in the first half? He probably had about 3 or 4 touches of the ball, and that was about it. Now, this guy is supposed to be a dead ball specialist, right? Free kick specialist. But we're not getting free kicks. And then, he's taking only a corner from the left-hand side, so he can swing it in with his right foot. But he's not taking it from the right-hand side, so maybe even skim it across the 6-yard box, or a bit of an outswinger to get somebody who's standing on the D or something like that. So what is his point? What's the point of having him on the pitch? And what's the point of keeping him on the pitch as well? So then, he starts with Wilson, great. But Wilson, it's just, let's face it, he was good for 50, 60 minutes, but that was about it. And when I say good in terms of just being on the pitch, but it wasn't really that productive either. And in all fairness, we weren't getting the ball out with and putting the ball in for any crosses. Fulkrug came on, and again, the same thing. We weren't really using them.
Yeah.
Paqueta wasn't that great either. And the amount of balls that Paqueta gave away, needlessly gave away, whilst there was lots of energy from him, and great, there was some great stuff he did. But again, giving the ball away. Again, Kyle Walker-Peters for me had a decent game, but
he did.
He did. He was all right. Somerville I thought was good. Juve I thought was doing great stuff as well. But if we're talking defensively, right? We've got Kilman Mavropanos not marking in the centre of the box. How many times have we given away corners? This is our weakness here, right? How many times have we given away corners? I lost count. I actually physically lost count. I don't know. Bring up the stats out because
I'm going to get them now for you. Just
in the first half, it must have been at least 10 corners. I can't remember.
Well, it's funny actually. It actually ended up equaling itself out 8-8. I thought it was a lot more to Crystal Palace, but I think in the first like 5 minutes, I think Palace had something like 4 corners on the off. But
definitely second half. Definitely
Can we
second
talk?
half. Yeah, we were better, but
Can
not
we
good enough.
talk? Can we talk about 𝗪𝗚𝗧 and 𝗪𝗚𝗚? Because let's be brutally honest here, Alf. They're both not good enough. I've always felt like that with regards to 𝗪𝗚𝗧. I've tried to give 𝗪𝗚𝗏 the benefit of the doubt, and I don't know if I've maybe tried to give 𝗪𝗚𝗏 the benefit of the doubt on the basis that he is a £40 million defender that once upon a time in his career played for the England setup. But again, just watching those replays back of those goals, just for your reference, Chelsea have had their goalkeeper sent off in the first 4 minutes of the game. So just against Manchester United. Anyway, just thought I'd tell you that. But when you watch those highlights back, and you will see how disconnected, disjointed, and really lacking of any form of confidence 𝗪𝗚𝗏 has. He looks a shadow of himself. He actually looks like he is causing West Ham more problems than anything else. And then when you've got someone else who, in my opinion, isn't as competent as a centre-back back there, because we've just decided and we've just agreed, sorry, not just today, but we've just agreed that Walker-Peters, Diouf and Wan-Bissaka are fine. We're okay with them.
Yeah.
Central defensively, the core, right in front of the keeper, we are wildly disconnected from the real world. 𝗪𝗚𝗏 cannot play. 𝗪𝗏𝗏 cannot play. Again, he can't. He's sure of confidence. We're going to the game, Alf, at Everton, in their new stadium, with a manager that knows our club inside out. He knows exactly how the fan base feel. He knows how exactly to get to the jugular. And he knows these players, some of these players, and he knows what we need to do to get what they need to do to get at us. They're going to get at us. And they're going to go for the jugular. And we've not got the people there with the backbone to be able to step up to the plate. I'll pass over to you again.
Mate, I'll tell you what, you're right. You use exactly the right word, backbone. We haven't got a backbone. We haven't got a spine going right through the centre of the park from defence all the way up. Now, I will say this for Potter, he made the right decision in bringing on Areola instead of Manson, because I thought actually for the most part Areola didn't really do much wrong. Okay, so you take the first goal, then I'm not sure if he got a touch to put it onto the crossbar, but then he was out of the game really. Once he'd done his bit, he was out of the game. So then it's up to the defenders to cover him. I thought command in the box, I thought he did all right for the most part. So, and the second goal, which they scored, he reacted to it. At least he was there. He was bringing out his hand. He just wasn't quick enough. I mean, it was I don't think many keepers are going to be able to save that kind of speed and powerful shot from that distance. So I'm not going to get on Areola's case at all, really.
For that goal, I don't think you can you, though, Alf? Because Mitchell's goal, I was sitting with Dad, and Dad was like, "That was a really good goal," and it was. But break the goal down, right? The ball did it hit the bar and go up in the sky, or the player cleared it and went up in the sky? And it had the player Mitchell watches the ball for about 3 seconds before it hits his foot, and still no defensive West Ham player went anywhere near him. Hadn't even actually made a move to go towards him. So he just watched that ball drop out of the air, and he went, "I'm going to throw my foot at it." But no one went near him. Defensively, no one went near him. And when you watch each set piece and you watch it back after time, 𝗪𝗚𝗏 for the goal, I think when Mateta headed it in, Gay jumps over the top of 𝗪𝗏𝗏 by a foot and a half or 2 foot of a clear distance. And then 𝗪𝗚𝗏𝗧 is on the line and no one's marking Mateta. He's 6 yards out. No defender to be seen.
Defense, that's what I'm saying. The whole point I sort of singled out Areola there, because I don't think he was the fault here. It's the central defensive partnership there. that completely let us down in that. And I think they've let us down. If you analyse a lot of the goals that we've let in, they've letting us down as well. Hermansen obviously was really at fault in terms of not controlling the box and coming out for the crosses. But I think Areola was trying to do his part. I just don't think defensively we were up for it. If I just want to make one point about the second half, right? The second half is this. We came out and we took the game to them, but again, you've got to question, is it more that we're taking the game to them or they went off the pace a little bit? As soon as they started to come back into the game, remember, we could have been 2-0 down, at the start of the second half. And it was, and they had lots of chances as well, better finishing, better passing, better positional play. And they could have had easily another 3 or 4 in the second half. But let's just say they went 2-1 up in the second half, and then we actually went for it for the full 90 minutes or whatever, 97 minutes, whatever it was, and pressing. Again, I don't think we were pressing enough. And we came away, we got a goal and we came away with a draw. Do you think that would have been enough to keep Potter's job? And I fear that would have been enough in Sullivan's and Brady's eyes to say, actually, second half, we turned it around, we saved a point. And I think for a lot of fans, that would have been enough. But I think if you look at the whole performance and all the frailties that we got, my interpretation of a draw would have been a lucky draw and we deserved to lose. And because we did lose, I think it's a fair result for we deserve to lose because of all the problems that we've got.
Yeah. Alf, 3 defeats at home this season from the off, albeit not embarrassing as Spurs and Chelsea, but still nonetheless 3 defeats at home. Yeah, and a team... Go for it.
Yeah, sorry, mate. I keep on interrupting. I do apologise. But you got to think about this. Crystal Palace are a depleted side, right? They lost 2 their star players in the transfer window. They got a couple of players just coming back. So they're finding their feet. Just imagine... Right, they've had 2 wins and 3 draws with a side that's just trying to, find their feet again. What does that tell you about them and their manager and the way they're playing? They're defensively sound, they're keeping it together, and they're getting results. Well done, Crystal Palace. Well done.
That's it.
You're showing us how you should be operating.
They're grinding it out
as a team, as individual players. They're doing the business. Whereas we, in all aspects, are not.
Yeah. No, and I think that's the thing. They're grinding these things out. They're because I don't think Crystal Palace played great today. I don't think West Ham played great today. I think it was a meh game. It was honestly, as an outsider looking in, it was a 1-1 game or it was a 0-0 game, clearly. But the thing is, Palace are a team that can see things out. West Ham are a team that keep... faltering every step of the way, and I hate being that person that just targets one player or 2 players or whatever, but Alf, it comes down to this simply: Potter looks clueless. He does. He looks clueless, and he's acting clueless because first and foremost, team selection, and decision making during the game. I said it in about the 50th minute. At what point does a manager pull the trigger to make a change, to do something a bit different? Not like for like, because I think he had subbed Wilson for Füllkrug at that point, or Füllkrug for Wilson at that point. But at what point do you pull that trigger to think, we need to do something in this game? By that point, Alf, it was too late because they've went on and scored a goal or whatever. He doesn't look like he knows what he wants or what he's doing. And that's highlighted when you look back at pre-season, when in every game you start Areola, when in every game you start Freddie Potts, then at the start of the season you sign Hermansen, you let Fabianski go, you bring Fabianski back, you start with Todibo and Agerd leaves and Todibo's on the bench. Wan-Bissaka, albeit apparently he's not well, so we'll give that one a bye. But there's Guido Rodriguez starts the season. Andy Irving keeps coming off the bench. Not to be seen. He doesn't know what his best team is. He doesn't know what his best squad is. He doesn't know what his best formation is. He doesn't know how to manage West Ham. He doesn't know how to manage players. And I'm sitting here, and of course I'm going to blame Potter for his decision making. But I'm sitting here saying I want Potter to change. I want that situation to change. Nuno Espirito Santo is not going to fucking change this situation at West Ham. I honestly think the only manager at the time that could have potentially changed it would have been a manager with an ego like a Mourinho. He's gone. It's not happening. And I know people in the comments suggesting about a Paolo Di Canio. I just want. I'm not saying it, but you need maybe someone who's just going to come in here and go, fuck it, I'm just going to go. I don't really care what the board think. I'm going to do what I want. Like, that's the sort of manager you need. Or a manager like, Jesus, I'm probably going to say, like, people slag me off for saying it, but like, Moyes knew how to manage the board in West Ham. He knew how to get the best from what he needed. Not the end of his tenure at West Ham just wasn't great, and we know that, and changes had to be made. But there was our option, there was our chance, and it's just I don't know, Alf. I don't know. I'm lost for words if I'm being really honest with you. Sounds like I'm not because I'm talking, but
if you got another manager in now, which we all agree this is what we kind of want, really. But if you got another manager in now, what would they do? What would they do? This, if I'm Sullivan and I'm interviewing Brady and I'm interviewing a new manager for a job which has been going on this week, my question to them would be the new manager, and this is how you select a new manager, or somebody you want to come work for your company. What are you going to do with the situation we're in now? What are you going to do with the players that we've got? So if you're bringing in Nuno Espirito Santo and you say, well, what are you going to do with the players that we got? Well, I'm going to play this low block and be counter-attacking football. Then you as an owner, you say, we don't have the players for this. So the likelihood is that we're not going to have any success with this kind of manager the way he wants to play. Any manager that comes in and can't change everything and change the way we're playing immediately and utilize the players in the best way possible. This week in their club statement, they're talking about, Potter, a forward-thinking football. Media have been kind of turning against us again now this week, mainstream media. So, yeah, well, Potter's one of those attacking kind of football managers. And we say, well, no, he isn't. We haven't seen it. All this youth development, the pathway coming from the academy, coming through. Potter's one of those managers. No, he isn't. No, he isn't. Because if he was, then we would have already seen it, and we'd be seeing it on a regular basis. We'd be seeing these academy players coming through and given minutes. That's all it takes, minutes at the end of games. Or even to bring them on, have them feature on, not let them play for the under-21s, but have them feature on match day squads. If he was that kind of player that manager that they're claiming him to be, we would already seen it. We haven't seen it. Therefore, you judge him on what he's done. And you judge him not what he potentially could do, what potentially, coulda, woulda, shoulda. That's, it's irrelevant. What you judge him on what he's done and the way he operates, and he fails each time. And problem is,
and I was just on your point there, and you mentioned the statement that the board released, and I know we're here to talk about the game, but when you come back to that statement, and this, remember this statement was released only a few days ago. Steps have already been taken to implement a new strategy and approach, right? So when I hear that, I'm like, it makes me angry because I'm like, a new approach. Right, a new strategy and approach, right? What? Anyway, particularly in the area of player recruitment, we have appointed Graham Potter as our new head coach. His role is to build and develop a first-team squad in line with the club's identity and objectives, right? With a continued focus on integrating young players from our academy. Then they go on and talk about all the other stuff, right? But then, literally a day later, however true it is, Nuno Espirito Santo is apparently pictured having the conversation with the board. Again, I'm not fact-checking it because I don't know for facts, but if you're led to believe the truth, then the engagement has happened with Nuno Espirito Santo. And if that has happened, then, again, Alf changing Potter does what? It's only to appease. It's only to appease people, but they think they're trying to appease people, but they're not. I don't know, because I'm getting even lost with what I'm saying, but I'm getting lost with what I'm saying because the information we're given from this club is making me lost. I'm lost. I'm lost as a West Ham fan. I am completely lost.
Yeah, no, I don't think many people are. I think that's why you're seeing the mass disconnection between the fan base and the club. You know, you want to go to the games. I mean, unfortunately, last minute today I couldn't go. You know, I was all ready to go to them protests, ready to go to the game, and vent as I always do at the players. But you know, you want to be connected to the team. You want to be connected to the club. But time and time again, 15 years this has been going on, and we had a couple. Every team, every club has highs and lows. Of course they do. And
oh, I think I've got you back. I had lost you there. I can't hear you now.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Yeah. Sorry, you might have a bit of echo here. I don't know. My AirPods just failed.
That's fine.
Yeah. So you can't go back historically and say everything was always perfect. But you've got to look at the here and now and where we are. Mass disconnect, lots of fans gone, lots of fans leaving. And you think, okay, look back to the second half. You think, okay, could they turn it around to bring it back in? But you can only look at the field on the day. I mean, I'm lost as well. I don't know what I want to say right now. But, at the game, you kind of want to look at, well, what are we looking at? What is he feeding us? What are the players feeding us? And if they're not feeding us that, and giving us that and showing that, again, the fans, by what I could say, 10, 15 minutes from the end, some of the players were starting to slow down, not pressing. So the fans had to urge them on to press on. You're thinking, hold on, the players should be doing this. We should be fighting to the very end. And I'm not saying strategically fighting. There's got to be a bit of a frantic atmosphere or feeling within the players. We've got to get this back. We don't have that fight. Any manager coming in has got to change this whole mentality. And then you're fighting against the board and the ownership. They can't even see their own deficiencies. They can't see what they've done. There is nothing in them that tells them we are doing wrong or we have done wrong. They can't see it.
No.
That's the problem. They can't see it.
They can't see it because they're so disconnected from what we actually are. And again, we find ourselves in a situation where, what are we now? Is it five games into the season? Yeah, 5 games into the season. 1-1 from a 10-minute blitz at Nottingham Forest. Lost 4, conceded 13 goals, -8 goal difference. Third from bottom on 3 points. Only Aston Villa and Wolves sit below us, but we have the worst goal difference in the league, or the second worst one above Wolves. I just don't know where West Ham. Alf, I mean, I'm going to have to kind of leave soon, but before I do go and before you go, and I'm assuming we might. Sounds like we might get a grumble this week from Alf, but.
Russ has said that I only come on when I grumble, and I kind of thought, blimey, I need to stop grumbling. I need to be more positive. So that's why I wanted to come on and be a bit positive about the second half and say, well, at least it started off a bit more positive in the second half.
Yeah.
So there we go. 8 on positive, right?
There you go. Yeah. Well, you're the only bloody one, because I'm not. I'm really not. It's fun.
20 minutes in the second half, you could say we were showing a little bit more. There we go. That's it. That's me being positive.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it is. Wait. Alf, where do we go from here before we go?
I fear we're going to get a lot worse. Then it'll get a lot worse, and I've got a feeling we are already seeing a relegation team. I fear lots of fans say, no, of course not, you can turn it around. Yeah, obviously there's got to be a massive turnaround to get out of this. But if you think about, even when we try and play a little bit better, we lose. So performances aside, we're not getting results. So results are the only things that are going to save us. I'm looking at a relegation team here under Potter, and I don't think the kind of managers that Sullivan and Brady want to go after are going to be able to sort that out for us, because we don't have the players to suit it.
I kind of feel like I agree, because major surgery is needed in our defence, our central defence anyway, and as wild as it sounds, we've not seen him, but I don't know how Mavropanos and Kilman are still getting starts. I don't know what the situation is with Todibo, and we've not seen Igor Julio. And for me, I'm like, and let's put this out here right now. We know 𝗪𝗚𝗏 and Mavropanos, one of them at least, if not both of them, are going to start the next game. We know that. So there's no point in trying to say, I would change it. I'd put 𝗪𝗚𝗬𝗪 and Todibo in, which is what I think's needed. I really don't know. I don't know where to start, where to begin, what the right answer is, but I just can't believe we've got ourselves into this monumental mess.
It is a mess. Absolutely.
From top to bottom. And when I was watching the game, they kept focusing on Brady, they kept focusing on Sullivan, and it made me really frustrated just staring at them, and it's just going to keep dwindling away for them to sit there and be despondent and think, it's all right, it's okay, it's all okay. Well, it's really, really, really not. And this does not come from a place of West Ham just getting beat on the back of another loss at home, in it's the mannerisms in it, and it's the decision making, and like I said, a new manager might not bring Fernandez off, and there's the positive. There you go. He just might not, but that could be the only bloody positive.
But it'll be small positive. It'll be small gains as well, and maybe that would be the catalyst to get the club back on track in terms of at least delivering performances, trying to deliver performances and results. But listen, we've never been a club that has consistently had fantastic football week in, week out, and coupled with that results, right? We've never been that club. Historically, we've never been that club. Since the 1960s, we've never been that club. Even when I started to love West Ham as a kid, 73, 74, 75, as a really young kid, that's where I saw, wow, we were playing some good football, but it didn't mean that we were always getting results. We were Division 2, for Christ's sake, in a lot of that time as well. And then going to 1980, we were Division 2 side, but we were, always trying to play decent football. We've lost that for the last few years.
Yeah.
Actually, you could say last 10 years. And I kind of I always look at a club like us. Why is it that repeatedly managers, players, and ownership, you don't change your failures or work on your failures, but you don't build on any successes? Any successes that you've had, you don't build on it, or you don't capitalize on that, or you don't, try and think, right, okay, we've got success here. How can we reinforce that to make it better or keep it successful, or show that we're trying to do that? Don't sell your best players. Don't change your formations to all of a sudden, have, make things worse. What about, different kinds of play, different kinds of strategy in terms of getting the ball forward and, and trying to break defenses, trying to cut through the lines, instead of just playing this crappy football. Why did we start the second half, right, from the kickoff? And what did Paqueta do? Paqueta put it right back to the keeper. Areola pumped it forward. We lost possession straight away. And they actually went on the attack. And I think it led directly to a chance. Tell me, what is the strategy there?
Yep. Not a single strategy at all. Not a single strategy at all, Alf. Listen, spot on from 𝗪𝗓𝗧.
But at least, Bowen got a goal. And I'm proud of him, and I'm pleased for him.
There you go.
And he's well on his way to becoming our Premier League top scorer. I think he's only another 13 goals or something to go, 10 goals, whatever it is.
That's if he stays with us next year, because I'm being honest with you, would not blame him for leaving.
No, I wouldn't either.
And no one could.
No,
right.
I'm not sure what the family ties would be like, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it is. Alf, thank you for joining us again, my man. I'm going to give the stream an end because I need to go and get my weekend back somehow, as we all do. So, Alf, thank you very much, and we'll get you back on again soon enough. Thanks.
Next time, honestly, I'll be positive.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, Alf, take it easy, mate. Good man. Thank you.
Cheers.
Thanks for
that.
Bye. That brings an end to our highlights review show, Matchday Live content for today. Thanks for watching. Been rubbish. Hey, come on, you irons.